Welcome back to another BJKU AI Q&A session. Today, I want to answer the question of what the heck do we sell? Because I do these webinars once or twice a week with my buddy Bashar at BJK University here. And we have a lot of questions where people are like, I'm coming out of this. I want to work in AI. I want to do this. I want to either be a freelancer or I want to start my own business with this. I want to make this thing happen. But they don't really know what to sell. And the problem is when they go all over YouTube and everything like you're on here now, you get a lot of advice from a lot of different people. And most of those people, unfortunately, not to talk trash about them, but they've never run a business before. So they don't understand some of the nuances. And let me explain one of the biggest nuances. 92% of AI projects are failing right now for big companies, medium companies, small companies. Why? Because they never clearly articulated what they were trying to use AI for and what they were trying to automate. And they were trying to automate something that probably didn't need to be automated. So one of the statements that I make consistently all day, every day is that we are not product pushers, we are problem solvers. So what I want you to understand in this AI space is there's really only 9 problems, 9 things that we can kind of solve and sell to a small business owner so they actually pay us money. And I don't know if your goal is to try to make the latest, greatest application or the coolest software or the greatest OnlyFans fake girl. I don't know what it is for you, but if you're here to make money, let me tell you, there's only 9 things you can do. There's only 9 things you can sell. And the reason I bring this up here today is because when we look at each of these on the screen here, chatbots, voice bots, lead gen, customer support, reputation management, content, onboarding, invoices, I'll explain what each one are. But look, I've been doing this now for 3-4 years, and I haven't really found anything other than this stuff that actually works. There's a lot of people who are trying to get into vibe coding, and there's a lot of people who are trying to get into very fancy AI things. But I got to tell you the truth. If you're looking to make money and you're trying to build software right now, software is becoming a commodity. You can go build your own software. Why would I pay you for your own software? Unless you had really spent millions of dollars and have thousands of developers and all this sort of stuff, which is going to be another point that I'm going to make here today. So let me go through each one of these. Number one is chatbots. And this is not the first time you've heard of this, but what's the problem that a chatbot solves? And who actually buys these things? Well, realistically, anybody buys them, right? And sometimes they spend money on things that they don't need or want, but they buy them because they're cool. But realistically, a business is only going to produce a return on investment, ROI, if they have too many messages, too many text messages, too many emails, too many WhatsApp messages, too many social media messages. My buddy Bashar here, when we talk about this stuff, he's got 2.2 million followers on Instagram, right? He gets some 800 messages per day. He gets too many messages to his Instagram. He couldn't respond to every single one of them, even if he physically wanted to. He couldn't keep up. So we use ManyChat as a chatbot to answer and respond to a lot of the basic questions that come into his Instagram. Whether it's, how much is this program? Or how do I get into the webinar? Or what do I do? Like, that's all automated these days. Simple frequently asked questions. It collects information, name and phone number and email. It guides them to the right program if they have questions about Amazon or AI or whatever else it is. So chatbots are really valuable, but only for someone who's getting too many messages. Maybe they get too many emails. They get 10,000 emails a day. 5,000, maybe that's an exaggeration, but you get the idea. So any business that has a lot of messages coming in, a chatbot is very valuable to them. Everyone else, it's not valuable. So when I say we are not product pushers, we're problem solvers, that means you shouldn't go around and say, I can build you a chatbot. Do you want a chatbot? Do you want a chatbot? Anybody else want a chatbot? No, you should identify who has that problem with too many messages and then talk to them about how a chatbot can solve that problem. Next up is voice bots. Very similar situation. They get too many phone calls or they miss too many calls, or the calls that they do miss are extremely valuable. I joke about trades quite a bit because trades are one of the most valuable systems, businesses right now that have a lot of money, they can make a lot of money, and their services are usually really expensive. So a roofer, as an example. I mean, what does a roof cost? $20,000, $30,000, $40,000? If they miss a phone call, what is that person going to do? Do you think that person's going to wait around for that roofing company to call them back? No, they're just going to call the next roofing company. They don't care. They don't know the difference in quality or difference in service or difference. They're just like, oh, I need a roof. My roof is leaking. Oh, I've got an emergency. Somebody come fix my roof. They don't care who it is. They just want it done. So they're just going to keep calling the next one. So the value in a voice bot helps to pick up missed phone calls, whether it's during hours or after hours, or maybe it's just when someone can't get to the phone. And extremely valuable to be able to book appointments, gather information, and collect leads, right? Number 3 is lead generation. And there's a couple things that I can share here. AI does 2 things really good. It helps you to identify who's your best buyers, and it helps you to create follow-up campaigns to reach out to those people again and again and again, never endingly with a smile, which is what we should be doing in marketing and sales, right? We should follow up until they say no, and we should be able to do it without a smile, without getting frustrated. Like, I've sent you 10 messages, you still haven't responded. You don't want any of that. You want never-ending follow-up with a smile, and AI does that beautifully. Number 4 is customer support bot. And the difference between a chat bot and a customer support bot is where the person is. Chatbots are before they give you money. Customer support bots are after they give you money. And is that an important distinction? Yes, of course it is, because customer support bots need to know order status and delivery status and other things that you might need, address. You might not ask someone for their home address in a sales situation, but when they order something, you do. So there's a difference between customer support bots and chatbots. And if they get a lot of questions, or people get a lot of inquiries like, hey, where's my stuff? I ordered my stuff. Or, hey, I scheduled an appointment, but I have questions. That's what a customer support bot does well. And you can already start to imagine in your head what kind of companies have those issues or challenges. Next up is reputation management. And I'll tell you, mark my words, 2026, 2027, these next 12 months are going to be the years that we start to see people going out of business because they either A, have a bad online reputation, or B, even worse, no online reputation. I mean, think about how you choose a restaurant to go out to eat at, right? You look up on Google, you look at the reviews, and if they've got 3 reviews with 5 stars, you know that people are lying, right? But if they've got 1,000 reviews and like 3.8 stars, you're like, well, okay, there's a lot of people who go there. Looks like it'll be all right. Or 4 stars, whatever it is. You're looking for real people who go there. That's what the review management does. And on the AI automation space, what we can do is we can ask every single customer for a review. We can remind them if they don't leave us a review, and we can follow up with the people who do leave reviews. We can have intelligent responses and communications and all that good stuff. And that's going to be critical for someone to stay in business in the online age. Next up is content generation. And the reason I explain this one quite a bit is because where do people find businesses to buy products and services from? Social media. And which social media platform should you be on? The answer is all of them. And unfortunately, people don't come find your business on your favorite social media platform. They find your business on their favorite social media platform. And if you're not on TikTok and they love to use TikTok, well, that's a problem. If you're not on Facebook and they're on Facebook, like, that's a problem. So what AI does really well is create words and pictures. And that's all social media is. So you can really promote your products and services, even if it's not perfect social media content, as long as you have a presence on these platforms and you answer questions and you show your products, show your services, find ways to connect with them on those platforms, you're doing pretty damn good. The next 3 are a little bit more complex, but I want to give them to you anyways, because number 1 is onboarding. And this is an expensive problem in both ways. 1, if a business has high refund rates, you can help to create a customer experience and onboarding system that tells people, hey, here's where your product is going to come in. Here's when it's going to show up. Here's how to use it most effectively. Here's how to get the most out of your product, the most out of your service. Here's the information we need. So most people don't refund a product or service because it was bad. They refund because they had a bad experience. So we want to help bridge that gap between someone buying a product and having a good experience. Number 2 on that section is if a company has high churn rate, meaning people leave over and over, right? High turnover is another word we might call it. So when you have someone who joins a business and they leave within 12 months, that's what we call a bad hire. And it's kind of a goofy definition, you understand. But when someone joins a company, you got to train them, you got to educate them, you got to get them up to speed. And usually it takes a full 12 months for that to happen. And so if someone leaves before those first 12 months are up, we call that a bad hire. And bad hires cost businesses 11 times their annual salary. So if you just hired someone for $100,000 and they leave before that 12 months is up, that just costs that business $1.1 million. Not just in like hard costs like training and education and software subscriptions and a desk and computers and all of the things, but you also have a bunch of soft costs like opportunity costs, and you have hours, man hours of other people training them and trying to educate them, trying to get them up to speed. So 11 times their annual salary, that's a big expensive problem. And we can help to solve that with AI by creating a really good onboarding experience. Hey, here's where to find things. Here's who to ask questions to. Here's the AI chatbot that helps you answer questions for your role. Here's all the standard operating procedures. Here's how to do this job most effectively. Here's what we've learned in the past. So you can create all that with AI these days, and it's brilliant, right? And then, of course, we got stuff that's a little bit more boring, but it's really important, which is automated invoicing. Most businesses have cash flow issues, not because they don't deliver a good product or service, but because they don't ask for the money, right? They never send an invoice, they never send a bill, and they don't remind people to pay their bills. And sometimes people don't pay their bills, not because they don't want to pay it, but because they just forgot. So we can help to automate some of those invoicing and cash flow issues simply by using different services. The last one is hiring, which is, again, a major problem for most large and medium-sized businesses. They're constantly trying to look for people to fill roles, and they get, hundreds, if not thousands of CVs or resumes or applications for one job role. How the heck are you supposed to organize all that and decide, who do I hire? What's going on? A friend of mine, she's an accountant at a big division. She's got 5 accountants. They're looking to hire 6. They got 3,000 applications for one job role. Now, how the heck are you as the HR manager supposed to manage all that? You just physically can't. And of course, everyone else is like, oh, you got 1 month to hire someone. And you're like, 3,000? I can't even read 3,000 applications in a month. What am I supposed to do here? So we can help businesses intake those forms, rank them, rate them, and tell them, hey, here's the top 20 candidates we think you should interview. And here's some of the questions you can ask based on their experience. So there's a lot of really cool things. Now, obviously, this is there's a lot of detail inside of this. That's why we teach an AI class every Wednesday, every Saturday, Sunday. We try to do webinars for the public where we teach you these 9 things, and we teach you like the subtleties. You can come join us. You can find the link somewhere here on YouTube if you want to register for one of those webinars. But listen to me now. Before you go down the YouTube rabbit hole and try to figure out how do I sell things to people, you got to understand there's really only 9 things that actually make money in this AI space right now. And I don't foresee this changing anytime soon. So listen, I hope this one was really helpful for you. I hope you took a lot of notes. You might need to listen to this a couple of times, just listen to my rambling, but there's only 9 things it can sell. If you want to make real money selling AI and automations to small businesses, big businesses, this is it.